Hi there, it's Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about a range of products. The idea being is to sort of cover a lot of products which have taken up the new dIpped technology. And we say dIpped technology, it's basically something which was created by the factories that a lot of the guys use out in Asia. The process of dipping gloves and boots in liquid rubber to seal them and create a sort of watertight boot or glove basically. As I say, this has been picked up by quite a few manufacturers. You've got Ripco with the rubber sole series for the boots, and then you've got O'Neill with the Guru series gloves and boots, and then you've got Seaskins with the next gen stuff. And then as we go through 2013 into 2013 winter, you're going to see more and more companies like Quicksilver have got a really nice glove and boot and XL and all that kind of stuff. So pretty much everyone's going to be getting involved with the dip stuff to sort of varying degrees of sort of price really. The technology has evolved even over the last year, and so some of the forthcoming products are really interesting. They look really good because there are some pitfalls with these particular products which we can tell you about and sort of how to avoid, and some things you can do to remedy them as well. So the Ripco basically rubber sole boot was the first one to do it in a 5mm. The reason basically the process of actually creating these boots and gloves is quite straightforward. You take a single line glove or boot, basically you've got a lycra lining on the inside, you've got the rubber, and then it's glued and blind stitch to seal it. They put some extra sealant around the inside of the cuff to create a good sort of seal against your wrist basically, and then you've got some really sort of hardcore stitching around the seals just to make sure it doesn't pull apart as well. Okay, and then they take that sort of glove and they literally just dip it in rubber. Okay, that rubber adheres to the outside of the glove really well, and then basically that will completely seal the glove from any water coming in. Okay, same with the boot, seals it. Basically what happens then is there's no water or air getting in, so the glove kind of sucks to your hand, and then what will basically happen is create a good sort of suction, good seal against your hand. It will feel really good in the water because it's very lightweight and non-absorbent, and then also it will basically stop any water getting in and keep your hand warmer. And then obviously you've got the lycra and the neoprene doing its job in terms of insulating you and keeping you warmer as well. So that's it in a nutshell. They started doing this off with a sort of 2mm glove, O'Neill. I think it's basically because it was a lot easier for the liquid rubber to bond to a thinner glove. But then Ripco did introduce the 5mm boot, the rubber sole boot, and basically that's kind of better for winter in the UK. Although some people do go with the 3mm Guru as well, which sort of does keep the boot lighter, more flexible, and more feel in the boot as well. Okay, so that's the sort of the products introduced in the first sort of year. Quite straightforward, single lined. You just got the lycra lining on the inside, as I said before, and then the rubber dipping. What has happened with a few of the gloves or boots, they are sort of quite delicate, as you can imagine, with the just sort of the liquid rubber over the top. As soon as that sort of is broken or torn, then does have a habit of tearing apart, basically. So you can be very careful where you put on the way that you put on the boot or the glove. You can't be too forceful with it, and we found a lot of people sort of like pulling at them very sort of quickly with this particular glove. I've had problems with the glove tearing. And obviously that's covered under warranty, so it's not too much of a problem. But yeah, just be sort of very careful and mindful of how you're pulling on the boot and the glove, because it is sort of vulnerable to tearing, basically. Okay, so if you take that glove back off, nice and easy to get off, and the way you sort of do it really is just to sort of pull all the fingers at once and just slowly do it. Okay, it's just something to bear in mind, basically, because we have had a few back like that. Now, if you have got some of these particular sort of products, from the first sort of year, and then obviously after a year you've used them, the warranty's up, so you're not going to be able to return them, and then you might have sort of some problems in the future with any of the sort of smooth skin tearing. You can get more shelf life out of the suit with something like this, which is the Black Witch quick drying neoprene adhesive, and basically it's kind of like a neoprene glue basically. We sell it in store at the Wetsuit Centre, and basically, yeah, just quite a straightforward glue, and it's ideal for this kind of stuff, where you get sort of like a small lesion in the glove where it might rip apart, like between the sort of fingers or on the palm or anything like that. Like, as it's going to do after sort of quite a lot of use, then literally this is just like a liquid rubber. You can put it inside, it will seal off the glove or the boot, and it will stop any sort of the increasing in the tear basically on the glove. So you get that sort of tear which would normally open up, and that will stop that happening. Okay, so that's the Black Witch neoprene adhesive, which is quite useful for this particular sort of style of boot and glove. Sort of moving on in terms of this sort of technology, then some of the sort of interesting stuff that's coming in is O'Neill this year are going to be introducing a double-lined boot and glove, and having had a look at them already, they're a lot more sort of like robust. So you've got that sort of real double lining on the inside, and then the adhesive or the liquid neoprene on the outside basically is a lot thicker really, and it seems a lot more rigid and less likely to tear. So having a real good go at trying to tear them as well, which we were challenged to do by the owner rep, I can see that it's not going to really be an issue this year. So with this sort of particular technology, as it was introduced, it's been fantastic for people that really like lightweight or hate wearing boots and gloves basically. So ideal for someone that really doesn't like that weight on their hands and feet. They like the feel of the board or the feel of the sort of the rope, whatever they're doing, or the sort of boom, whatever you're doing basically. If you want the feel in your hands and feet, then these gloves are ideal because they're very thin, very lightweight, and they retain a massive amount of feel. So really good gloves to go through. The only downside obviously is they are a little bit more inclined to rip, tear, and they're a little bit more fragile than your standard double-lined boot and glove. But if you look after them, then there's no reason why you shouldn't get a good amount of time out of them, and that shouldn't really be a problem. But having said that, the sort of going forward, the new sort of dip technology that you've got coming into play for 2013 should remedy a lot of that anyway. Might get a bit more expensive, but it is definitely going to remedy that. So this sort of dipped series, definitely one worth bearing in mind, and also a little insight into the Blackwitch product that we sell, which is ideal for single line products like this, or smooth skin, or any wetsuit where it's torn on smooth skin basically, or any basically neoprene where it just needs a quick fix in a nick or something like that, just to sort of reseal it, make sure it's watertight. Then Blackwitch is a good one to go for. So that's basically the dip products, just sort of an overview. We're selling a lot of them these days, and they're very popular, and as they get more and more popular in the sort of forthcoming years, it's definitely something worth doing a review about.